Mr. Speaker, it's always amusing when National puts up its D team in the general debate. Little National no friends is what we're looking at over there. There's no John Banks, or at least not for long. There's no Maori Party, or not for long. There's already no Mana in more ways than one. And now not even Aaron Gilmore can be bothered sticking around as their polling inexorably sinks towards the magic number of 39%. Beware two things. The first is bring back Winston, and the second is they shudder in their twin sets and pearls. Remember this, gentlemen and ladies, if Judith Collins is the answer, what on earth is the question? But look, today, Mr. Speaker, the Labour opposition has got to note a very sad day in New Zealand politics, and it's the announcement of an extremely dodgy deal around the Sky City Convention Centre. Mr. Speaker, the Convention Centre deal is built on a foundation, and I don't use this word lightly, of dishonesty. Dishonesty that it wouldn't cost taxpayers a cent when there was a multi-million-dollar slush fund subsidy for Sky City in the design. Dishonesty in the fact that the Ministry of Economic Development wouldn't release the records of their multiple meetings with Sky City. It was behind closed doors, just like John Key's meeting with the board. It was dishonesty about nothing being dodgy, of how John Key personally suspended the proper process that had 4 bidders and only Sky City got a look in. That was dishonesty in the words of the Auditor General's office, who said it was, quote, flawed, quote, unfair, quote, the Sky City proposal was always going to be the most attractive, and, quote, it wasn't transparent or even-handed, and, quote, that applied to both ministers and officials. Mr. Speaker, it's dishonest to say that there's going to be a sinking lid on pokies in Auckland when they've just voted another 230 of them and 20 more gaming tables. It's dishonest to say that the criminal ticket-in, ticket-out technology will reduce problem gambling. The reason it's illegal is it gives the casino so much information about the gamblers that they know what buttons to push to get them addicted. Mr. Speaker, it's dishonest to say that there will be no cost to the country to plonk the hulking Pokey Palace right on top of TVNZ. Who's paying for that, Mr. Speaker? And, Mr. Speaker, it is dishonest of Peter Dunn to say that he feigned concern that the government, quote, played fast and loose at times with the deal when he holds the casting vote. This is Peter Dunn's palace as well as John Key's. Mr. Speaker, and there is egregious dishonesty in claiming that Labor did the same thing in 2001, because it was none other than Judith Collins, who was then the chair of the Casino Control Authority, who used a law that National passed and Labor abolished, just like her office, to put through the last increase in pokie machines. Mr. Speaker, there is one more dishonesty that tops them all. It is the mother of all rorts, and that is the dishonesty of using government legislation to give a gold-plated guarantee of compensation to a private company. That is a slippery slope in our Constitution. There's dishonesty in the numbers. As David Shearer has said, Sky City has hit the jackpot. By Kortementha's estimates, they can make up to $530 million on a $402 million outlay. That is a 32% premium for a no-risk investment. And they still own the building at the end of the 35-year gold-plated period. Mr. Speaker, this is a very sad day for New Zealand's democracy. The government has already sold the law on The Hobbit to Warner Brothers. It's already sold the rules about spectrum licensing to MediaWorks, and now it's selling the law about casinos to a casino. Mr. Speaker, it's giving them a gold-plated guarantee. It is selling our law. It is compromising the sovereignty of Parliament. But I've got news for this government. Those laws that can be made can be unmade. And any future government can repeal the compensation provisions and deal with the issues in the interests of New Zealanders as they are required to do. So, Mr. Speaker, let us be very clear. The Labour Party has no truck with the dishonesty that is on display from this government, and we're willing to bet that neither do New Zealanders.
Jonathan Young.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to just commend my colleague David Bennett for a great speech. And I looked across the House and saw Kevin Haig.